So today is not a good day. I shouldn't be here right now. I should be at work like I normally would be on a Friday night at 7:36 p.m. But instead, I'm home and I'm recording a live stream because I need to talk about what happened today while it's still fresh on my mind, while I remember everything. So I go to work. It's Friday, and I go to work, and I think I'm gonna work like usual, and I start shelving. I sign out of Streamliner, and I start shelving, and so I'm out in Stack Room 2, and then all of a sudden I hear my supervisor yelling for me and told me a follower says it's review time, and I'm like, oh no. So it's my monthly review. Am I going to find out how bad I did? Because I had a feeling I didn't make quota. I had a feeling because I had the injury. I had the knee injury, and then I came back in January. It was 2 weeks. I had to take a personal leave of absence. I came back in February, and I've been working since February 16. But here's the thing: I was 99.61% of quota. But because I was below quota, and because this is the third time I got a final written PFF, which is something performance feedback form, I forgot exactly what it is. And so they told me that I was going to be suspended without pay for 5 days. So they didn't even let me finish working. They didn't even let me finish my Streamliner I started shelving. Apparently, they don't want people to get work done there, because instead of letting me work that day, they just said, oh, you're suspended. So they let me get my stuff, and then they made me give them my badge and clock out. And so they sent me home. So I walked all the way home. It took me about, an hour to walk home. And I've been thinking a lot. And you know something? This is really sad because I used to be so good at this job, but ever since the mask mandate happened and everything has been going the way it has been, I haven't been happy like the good old days. And I can't make quota because, first of all, there's the mask issue that restricted my oxygen. So that's part of it. But then also, I've been having problems, and I had my knee injury, and I have inflammation and weird stuff going on. And this job, although I was good at it originally, it's destroyed my physical and mental health. And I understand why a lot of people have quit this job. The turnover of this job is absolutely insane. So many people have quit this job. And believe me, I thought about it, except I figured I had nowhere else to go, because how else am I going to find full-time work except this job? But you know something? I don't like how I'm being treated. I really don't like how I'm being treated here, because I had an injury and I had the hardest time getting to where I could walk again, and I did my best. The fact that I even came back to work after such a thing, is a miracle. Whereas so many people who were in good health and were capable of working the job quit to find an easier job or something like that. And I kept working, and now I'm suspended. And so then after I come back from my suspension, if I have one more month, it could be any time this coming year, because it's sort of a rolling system. So that it's sort of like 3 times if you're below quota technically I've had 3 times. So technically it's 4 times. So you get a written warning, then you get a verbal warning, then a written warning, then a final written followed with a suspension. And then it happens one more time, you're terminated. So one more time, if I can't make quota, I'm fired. But what if I do make it for the next one, but then the month after that? So this means at any given time during this coming year, I could lose my job. In fact, at this point, given the problems I'm having health-wise, I'm having problems, okay? I'm having some problems, and my problems actually started quite some time ago, and I don't know what it's all about. But, well, first, the mask mandate made things hard. But then I started having some problems where my knee would lock up. I was having trouble with my knee and that kind of thing. And then I had the knee injury and I couldn't walk for 2 weeks. I couldn't even take out my own trash, but I had physical therapy and I got to walking. It was so crazy. But then I started having some other problems. My feet hurt like you wouldn't believe. And my hands sometimes swell up, like the knuckles and stuff. Right now, I'm not doing too bad. Today, I'm not doing too bad. Of course, the fact that I was sent home and I'm not working also helps because this job is hard. But there's another problem I'm having. And I want to show you this. So here is my left hand. It's here right on the screen, but it's pretty good. But my right hand has a tremor. It's kind of weird. Like if I rest it, it's fine. But when I start trying to use it, if I try to write with things, like it has a little shakiness, and it feels like I'm losing control of my hand, and it's crazy. It could be the repetitive movements at work. And so I don't know if it's carpal tunnel or if I'm I've looked up things online. I don't know if I have Parkinson's or multiple sclerosis. I don't know what's going on, but this job has been destroying my body. It's hard, and I've had problems this whole past year, yet I kept working. But it's also not good for my mental health because I always have this constant fear that I'm going to be fired. And the situation is looking like that very well could happen. So I have some ideas of what I'm going to do. I have many things to do. I have phone calls to make. I actually have plans to see. I'm trying to make phone calls. I have plans to see some medical people, and what I'm going to try to do, if I can, I'm going to have to line up another job. I'm thinking I'll go back to Hy-Vee. That's kind of what I'm thinking at this point because I had 7 years of experience working at Hy-Vee. I may have to go back to Hy-Vee, and I'm not technically fired yet, but I need to have another job to go to after I am fired. So that's the thing about it, is that even if I could keep this current job that I have, after the way they treated me today, and the way I've been treated the whole time, it's weird. I feel like I'm not getting the respect I got at Hy-Vee. I was good at Hy-Vee, and I left because I needed full-time work and I needed health insurance. But I just don't know if it's worth it. I want to go back to the good old days of Hy-Vee where there was no quota. It was simply about helping each customer with what they need, whether that's taking their groceries out to their car for them or finding something for them or sacking their groceries or whatever it was, or stocking the shelves, but it was all about each customer. It was very personal. And now, working in this cave where I get no sunlight, the air quality is horrible, and then the mask mandate on top of it, I'm no longer happy there. And so on the one hand, I'm sad about the fact that I'm suspended from my job because I've worked so hard to keep this job and I've done the best I can. And that's what I told them today at my review. But on the other hand, I'm not happy there. And besides that, I already had my orchiectomy. So even though I don't want to lose the health insurance, because it'd be a real hassle to get some other kind of health insurance and all that, at least I had the most major surgery of my life and it's already paid for. So I may end up losing my job. I may lose my health insurance. I may not have much money left, but I'm going to do my best to survive. I'm going to figure something else out. So I haven't completely lost my job yet, but with the way things are going, if something doesn't change, I'm not going to be able to make their quota. And so here's what I'm thinking is I'm going to continue working that job for a while and see how it goes. But at the same time, I'm going to be also trying to see if I can get full-time work elsewhere. Hy-Vee is my best bet because I know I can work at Hy-Vee because I did it before. And I was good at it. So we'll see what the future has for me. But today I'm very sad because I feel unappreciated. I feel very unappreciated because, quite honestly, it's a miracle I even did 99.61%. After the injury I had and what I've been through, not being able to breathe on top of having inflamed knees and stuff like that, it's a miracle I even did as well as I did. It's insane. But I am going to see if I can see an endocrinologist at Truman, because an endocrinologist might be able to advise me on the right hormones I might need. Because here's the simple fact of the matter. I have read about the connection between inflammation and hormone levels. And because my hormone levels are altered since I have like no testosterone now, and don't get me wrong, I love not having testicles in my way, and I love the physical changes that I've had in my body since that. And now I can smell things that I couldn't before. So I've had mostly positive changes. That being said, I may need some kind of hormone replacement therapy, because if my hormones are in any way related to the hand tremors or the red and swellingness of the hands or the knees sometimes, then fixing my hormones might be a way to solve my other problems, which would theoretically mean I might be able to keep my job if I get my health in perfect order. Possibly. But right now, let me tell you, I want to come back to that job and do so well that everybody is impressed. And after I do, and after I prove myself, then maybe I can start another job instead, because I just don't feel appreciated the way I should feel appreciated, the way I used to feel appreciated. But I got this job and it has served me well for a time, up until the injury and everything going to complete shit in 2020 with COVID and the masks and all that. So I don't know what's going to happen. And it's just hard because I didn't want everything to change. I want things to stay the same, because even though I was miserable with the way things were, change is really hard. It's hard to change everything in my life. And so that's just reality. Is I was suspended from this job and I was fighting so hard to keep it. But now after this and the way people talk to me, even though they weren't really like mean or anything at this review, but the human resource people and my supervisor and her supervisor, it's just, I just feel like it's just, they're not allowed to consider, it seems like, look, this person, it didn't make quota because they're still having health problems. They shouldn't suspend somebody who's at over 99% quality at work. Like, I could be getting work done there. I could, if they didn't suspend me and just let me keep working, work would be getting done. But instead, no, let's suspend this person so they can't do the work they were doing. So you know what's going to happen? I am going to find a way to restore my health, if at all possible. And part of restoring my health may be leaving this job. and getting a job that's a healthier environment, not just physically, but emotionally. You know, I need to be somewhere where I'm truly talented at what I do and I feel appreciated. So that's just what the way things are. That's just how I'm feeling right now. And things are pretty bad financially for me. And then being suspended for 5 days means that's going to be less money I get at my next paycheck. So I'm pretty pissed off. And that's just what's going on. But that all being said, now that I am home, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to play Minecraft with my friends. And tomorrow I am going to visit my mom and I'm going to be able to tell her everything that's been going on. This is madness. But you know, the nice thing is that I'm not the failure here. I gave it everything I got, but it wasn't enough for these people. So you know what? I'm not so sure I need them. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe there's still a job out there for me that's better. Just maybe. I hope so, but change is hard and I'm in a bad place right now. You know, I'm just really sad because I didn't want things to turn out this way, but I had this nagging feeling that this is what was going to happen. I knew I wasn't up to code at my tasks, but I did the best I could. But I'm only physically capable of so much, especially without oxygen. This is madness. This is not a life worth living. So things have got to change. That's just the simple fact of the matter. Things have got to change. I can't work a job like this that's destroying my mental and physical health like this. If I stay at this job too long, I could have another knee injury. I could have a back injury. I could end up injured for life, as some people have. Other people haven't ended up injured for life from this job. So I've got to get into a safer job. There's got I can handle a job that has a little bit less pay than what I'm making. I could handle that. As long as I can get enough hours to make enough money to pay my rent and bills and buy food and stuff like that, I could handle a job that paid a little less well. I could live with that. And hopefully I can get some kind of health insurance. You know, I'm going to need health insurance. We all need health insurance because things happen and we need doctors and medicine in certain cases sometimes, you know, but now that I've had my surgery, that's a one-time thing. I hopefully will never need another surgery, especially if I stay away from such a dangerous job like that, you know, and it's just sad. So that's the way it's got to be. But yeah, life is short. And even though I had intended to, originally I was good at this job and I loved it. And I had intended to stay with this company until I retired. But now I'm not even so sure I want to. I want to find something I can do and feel great about. So we shall see. I never know where life is going to take me. So that's all for now, and hopefully things will get better. I have some plans.